Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is, I don't know what we're going to call it, Bayou Minute, Miami
Miami
Breakdown. I
breakdown.
don't know if
Ooh.
I don't know if
Oh,
that works. I think I want to keep the Bayou Minute at least. I think that's the stronger of the
I
two,
like
but
it. I like it.
there's obviously a combination of the Miami Minute and the Bayou Breakdown because, hey, the Saints and the Dolphins are the two of the three teams we cover in depth here, so we may as well put it together. And Jack, how you doing?
I'm good, Brian. The Saints are not good, but
Well,
I think you should be feeling pretty all right with your Dolphins.
we'll see. Obviously, like the big story for the Dolphins is 7 straight wins after 7 straight losses. It's been a weird year, Jack. I've been
To say the
at the
least.
lowest low as a Dolphins fan, and now the highest high that I've been in a while. So very, very strange. The Dolphins move to 8-7. The Saints fall to 7-8. But I mean, I think we talked about this before, and it's not just me blowing smoke. This Saints team, especially their defense, is talented. Had tons of injuries, tons of COVID stuff happen to them this week. Have had tons of injuries and COVID stuff happen to them all season. There's a graphic that the had, what was it, 57 starters
Yeah.
this season. Absurd. One of
Stupid.
the an NFL record. Um, the would be a playoff team if not all this happened. So, I mean, you got to at least take some solace in that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, right? And I had hopes. I was very optimistic about tonight's game, which I'm sure you wouldn't love hearing, but I was like,
I mean,
like maybe there's hope, like maybe Tua completely craps the bed,
mm,
but your defense has been pretty much locked down, honestly, for
hard
this
carry
stretch.
during this stretch. Yeah, ever
Yeah, it's
since that
unbelievable.
Ravens game, it's been locked in.
Right. Right, and it's just been unstoppable. So I mean, you put in like you kind of put in a fourth string quarterback rookie out of Notre Dame, who I think I saw a stat too. The last quarterback starting out of Notre Dame to win a game was Brady Quinn. So that just goes to show you how far back that is.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
yeah, that's not good. That's not good. When it
Yeah.
was 3-10 at half, I thought there was hope. Maybe Ian Book gets calmed down a little bit, comes
Mm.
back out, but there was no shot. Tua played well, and your defense played well, and so did Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle was unbelievable tonight.
Jalen Waddle is the offensive MVP. Like
Yeah,
he's so incredible. But yeah, the only other one I could think of from Notre Dame is Jimmy Clausen, and I
oh
know
yeah,
he definitely did not win any
no,
games in his career, so
poor
that's not
dude.
really surprising. I remember he was a second round pick by the Panthers. He lost every game he started, and they're like, "So we're gonna draft Cam Newton
Yeah,
now because this is a disaster."
quick.
So.
Yeah, it was not good.
So I mean, as prestigious as Notre Dame is, they haven't had a lot of good quarterback prospects. But I mean, Ian Brook, his problem today was taking too many sacks, and all of those aren't on him. Obviously, like the Saints, again, we already covered it. They're down
Yeah,
to what, like their fifth string left tackle. He said,
something like
like
that. Yeah,
something, yeah, like it's not on him. But there were moments where he held on to the ball a little bit too long. Definitely paid for it. Don't think he'll do that again after this game.
no,
Um,
it was a wake up
but
call.
yeah, and then he had the 2 interceptions, which not great, but he had that one really nice throw over Brian Jones for 57 yards near the end of the
Yeah,
game. That, like I said, Dolphins pay him way too much for that to happen.
yeah,
So
yeah.
not thrilled that that was the outcome of pitting them on the one so late in the game. But it is what it is. But I do think he is a potential at least backup. I don't know. What do you think of him?
I think backup is strong, right? Like I think that's probably like I don't want to say his ceiling, but it certainly
Mm,
feels like it after watching him. I mean, at the same time, I don't know how much you can really judge him based on this performance because one, it's a good defense. It's his first
mm,
NFL start. Um,
yeah.
they were talking about on the broadcast as well about how he didn't ever get any like full speed reps with receivers
Hmm.
until today, like before the game. So like he came here early and did that.
Yeah.
So you have to assume like no, dude's not really prepared for this. He kind of is a COVID fill-in, like kind
Yeah.
of a stash, see how he does guy. Um, I think this was not his intention, or this was not Sean Payton's intention either, frankly. But it wasn't pretty to watch either way. Definitely does not change the watchability.
No, it got to the point where like when the Dolphins were like hitting him, you're just like, I just feel bad. Like this is not that fun to
Right.
watch someone just get beaten up. But
No. And you're
I
right
mean,
though. Back to your point about the sacks, right? Like he was holding on to the ball way too long, and I think that's just going back to being a rookie, fourth round pick. Like that's just the pace of play thing. Like you eventually get used to that. They talk about it in the NBA a lot, and I'm sure it applies the same in the NFL, obviously.
yeah,
A bunch of pro athletes doing things, and like as your first game action, like these are dudes a tier above your former collegiate competitors.
yeah.
The fact that he was even able to like complete some stuff was impressive to me, especially given the circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, like Notre Dame, obviously very good team
Yeah,
during his run there. Not probably having a lot of pockets that looked like the pockets he was facing today.
there's no
He probably
pockets.
had way,
Yeah,
yeah, way longer. And like we saw, Tua had to adjust. Like now, Tua has like the fastest like release, and you saw in this game why he needs to have that
yeah,
because if he holds the ball for anything over 2 seconds, he's getting
he's cooked.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Like on that fumble where he immediately the
Oh,
pocket breaks down, he steps up and he just got drilled, just
yeah. There was
absolutely drilled.
no protection for Tua tonight either. It really was. It was defenses. It was a defensive game for sure.
Yeah, it was so ugly. I feel bad for anyone who's not a fan of either of these
Oh, me
teams.
too.
Having to watch this on Monday Night Football.
Not fun.
What I got when I was reading Twitter was a lot of people just being like, "This is such an ugly game. I can't
Yeah, it
believe I'm
is.
watching this." It's like, yep, it
Me too.
really
Us
is.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Tua getting sacked and the defense, I thought the defense played well today, missing some starters. What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. A lot of our secondary was there, and that kind of comes to show because you got Jalen Waddle. I mean, honestly though, Jalen Waddle tore up everybody. Like even our inside linebackers, like our D line was not exceptional, but they were good enough. Um, I mean, again, I think the Dolphins D definitely like deserves credit tonight for sure. They played good coverage. They picked off Ian Book twice. That first one was a tip, right? And then that second one
Yeah,
was just
so
the
Van
second.
Ginkel tipped it, and then it got ran back. So, not like Ian Book's fault on the pick
No,
six.
but
Like,
good, like good awareness by the Dolphins D, right? And then the same on the second pick, which was just on it. That was a terrible throw and a great read by Miami as well,
yeah,
because that was not to anybody, but
I
they
think
were there.
I think it was fourth down, right? And I think it was
I
just
think
like
so. Just like
Ian
go
Book
for
being
it.
like, "Fuck it, I just
Yeah,
need to throw this. I can't take another
and
sack." And
Callaway's down there somewhere, type of
yeah,
deal, right? And that's kind of what it was. Except it was not Callaway; it was the Dolphins D. I don't even remember who picked that, but
it was Brandon Jones,
oh,
our
okay,
rookie safety, one of our two rookie safeties. They were both quite good. So
it's good. Yeah, that explains a lot, honestly, because you get that deep coverage back there, and he's able to come up and make that play. That's nice. That's good to see.
yeah. No, him and Holland are both like quite good, both very aggressive. I mean, Jones had a sack
Nice.
today too.
Yeah,
A lot, like we said, a lot of sacks. Other than that, I mean, Callaway played all right. He definitely like came up clutch a few times.
yeah,
Kenny Stills was there. I mean, I love Kenny
he sure
Stills,
was.
former Dolphin. He had one catch for 4 yards. Kamara like kind of put the team on his back a little bit there,
What he
but
could, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you guys knew he was running, right? Like that's what it was. Like AK's gonna run the ball. You have a four-string quarterback in there.
Yeah,
And you got to give the Dolphins D credit. They adjusted well. I keep just sitting here spewing over the Dolphins D, but honestly, dude, like
It's-
they were solid.
yeah, and I mean, we'll see. Like you said, the Dolphins D were really great. Their offensive line really bad as always.
Yeah.
There was like one holding play where it wasn't a hold that negated a Waddle catch, but other than that, that's the only time the Dolphins offensive line could get off the hook because
Right.
they were fucking awful
Right.
again today. And I mean, the Dolphins would be a very legit team if they gave Tua 4 seconds to throw the ball instead
know.
of two. But it is what it is. We'll
Stinks.
see what happens. It is like very sad when they do have time, and then Tua overthrows this
Right.
receiver for an interception. Like,
You're like sick.
God,
Awesome.
yeah. I literally thought, I was
one
like,
time.
oh shit, he has a lot of time on this play, and then it was an interception. I was like, wow, okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I get it now. I get
great.
it.
Well, that's kind of the Tua experience. Like, he'll have that throw to Matt Collins, which is like an amazing, perfect throw, and then he'll have that throw that got picked off where you're just like, what the fuck was that?
What
Like,
the hell? Yeah, you look like Ian Book out there. Like, it's not good. It's not good.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm not super confident they're going to beat the Titans or the Patriots.
True.
Both are fighting for their playoffs lives as well. When a long time ago, when I was looking at this schedule, I was like, well, maybe by the time they get to the end of it, the Patriots and Titans will already have their playoff spots locked up. That didn't happen. So they're going to have to beat them legitimately, and I don't know if that's possible. But it doesn't really matter because they had the playoff percentages. Dolphins win. They only had 19. Dolphins lose. It was like 4. Saints had better percentages either way, even if they lost. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think they can make a push here?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if I want them to. I think if Taysom is back, I don't want the heartbreak, man. I want to just kind of accept this season as a lost season and then come back next year with either Jameis or whoever at the helm. I don't want Taysom.
Hey,
I don't
maybe
want
Russell
Taysom.
Wilson.
Maybe Russell Wilson. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers.
Michael Thomas is back, right? Hypothetically.
The Saints team would be insane if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback.
Dude, I would have a jersey before within 2 days of him signing. I guarantee.
Right.
You. I would make sure it is in my possession. I would absolutely die. But yeah, that's all hypothetical, all speculation, right? I think the NFC is just kind of a mess right now at the bottom of the playoff chain. So we'll have to see how it turns out. I don't have super high hopes, but like you're right, the percentages are better, I guess. Just a matter of if Taysom can come back and be good enough to get us to the playoffs, I think.
He's just gonna beat the Panthers and the Falcons. And I know they lost to them earlier this season, but like, they can do it, right? If Taysom Hill's playing, they can do it. Yeah.
So, I even think Trevor Siemian could beat both of those teams. Honestly, that's kind of a hot take, but I think I might be getting a little bit too big for my britches. But
do you think if he tests back out of the COVID protocols, he'll start over Ian Book?
Siemian?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. You're like, I've seen enough.
Yeah. We saw enough. I have seen enough. And as you know, I was pretty hyped about seeing Ian Book start just to see how he did. I literally 10 plays in, I was like, yeah, that's enough. Like, I'm done. I'm done here. Get him out. It's kind of like being from New England, right? We saw when Jarrett Stidham started a couple years ago, or he came in to fill in for Brady one time and threw 2 pick sixes or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, now we have to put Brady back in because we were up by so much, and now you have literally blown the lead. So that's kind of how I felt, except there was no backup. Like the next backup was literally Phillip Rivers at home on his couch. So it's just not good.
Apparently they asked Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers and Josh McCown, and they're all like, I mean, it's Christmas, so this is kind of the worst week to ask someone to come out of retirement. But Phillip Rivers would have been fun. I just don't think Brees is full retirement mode.
He's done.
He's got his analyst job. He called the game last night. He's got new hair. He's checked out.
You can't ruin that. You can't ruin that now.
No. You'd go back, you'd have to take the hair plugs out.
Right, yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
No one wants to see that. So, it was a long shot, I'm sure. But I'm sure Sean Payton was just like, please, dude. Please don't let us make us play Ian Book. But
and here we are. I mean, that actually is interesting. I don't know if he has any status on the team for next year now. I don't, just because if they're asking around about other people already,
I think it was more for at least Drew Brees, anyways, and probably Phillip Rivers. I mean, Phillip Rivers, he's thrown 420 touchdowns. He's no slouch. He could come in and learn an offense in 2 days. But with Drew Brees, it's you already know the offense. It wouldn't be, that big of a deal for him to just come in and suit up and play. Right. Whereas Ian Book, he's been there, but you said he was their COVID quarterback. He hasn't been there. He hasn't practiced. It's a different thing. So.
Right. Yeah. Was not fun to watch. But a good game for you guys, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, good game for the
Straight.
defense. Offense leaves a lot to be desired for sure.
Yeah. You're up against
but-
a good D too, though, right?
Yeah,
Like the Saints are a good D.
And that's like kind of, talk to my dad, who's a big Dolphins fan. Like when we've been talking about the matchups, I was like, Saints, their defense is really good. So like, we'll see. And they certainly played their asses off tonight. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I sound so dejected. I'm happy they won. I'm happy that they have 7 straight wins. I'm nervous for the Titans and Patriots. But at the end of the day, those are 2 playoff teams. If you're going to get into the playoffs, you're going to have to beat them anyways. So if you can't beat them, then
that's the truth.
There's no point in being in the playoffs, right? So it is what it is. All right, Jack, anything else you want to add before we get on out of here?
No, man, I don't think so. I want to go run through some playoff scenarios later to see what we're looking like for both of us. But I think that'll be a topic for next time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dolphins win out. They're in the playoffs. That's all you can ask for at this point in the season, right? Like, it's as simple as it can get. Right. And they might even win the division if the Bills lose. And the Patriots, they beat the Patriots last week. So that would be funny. That would be a really funny outcome to this season.
I would appreciate that too. Like I have a lot of friends in Buffalo. I have some friends. Obviously, we were from New England. Like that would just be the most satisfying thing ever to watch the Dolphins come out of essentially nowhere and take this.
From as done as you can be without officially being eliminated from the playoffs, being 1-7, to winning the division would be something else.
Be absurd. I would kill to see that.
If that happens, Brian Flores has to win Coach of the Year.
100%.
Like that's.
I'm talking about turning around a team. Yeah, that's it.
In season, like that'd be insane. So we'll see what happens.
I'm rooting for you, truly.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day too. Like it's been a really tumultuous season and off season with Tua. Like, are they going to sign Deshaun Watson or trade for Deshaun Watson? Like, is he going to get replaced? It's like, well, I know the situation isn't perfect. Like, the offensive line sucks, but Tua, you're the 5th overall pick. This is why they drafted you. You got to go out there and you got to win, and then the team's yours forever, probably. Like, so it's nut up or shut up time, as they say.
I like that. That's true.
So, Jack, where can they find you online?
The best place to find me is Twitter, and that's at Jack_Tiernan. I'll have NFL, NBA stuff going on as the games progress. I know COVID stuff is hitting heavy, so I'm sure we'll have some stuff on there too.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, we didn't even touch on it. They said during the broadcast 96 NFL players tested positive today.
Today alone?
Just today. So, obviously the most that's happened, this year. Presumably, just the way COVID works, there'll be a lot more in the coming days. So we'll see. Hey, who even knows? Like, you can't even give like predictions on anything because you just don't know who's going to be playing.
Who's out, right?
Yeah,
right.
COVID, man. I mean, this might be the only video on the channel this week. Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard with Christmas, New Year's, holiday. I don't know. Like, Chad's available. I haven't talked to him yet. Hockey just isn't happening right now.
Right. Just stop.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm sure Chris will have something to talk about if we really need it, but it's just I don't know. Like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah. And like you said, the NBA could be affected as well. I mean, the whole country is right now.
I think the Celtics have this is a little bit of we're going at the buzzer right now, but of I think Celtics have 25 players technically on their roster, and the max in the NBA is 15. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
We're skirting rules a little bit, but it is what it is. It's COVID season. It's the COVID season.
It's the season, right?
Yeah, we need a new bubble stat.
Yeah, seriously.
What is happening in Orlando right now, Jack? Can we get the teams down there again?
Well, as soon as Disney closes down, man, we'll get. I'm sure
that'll be
someone will give them a ring
again. Yeah. I mean, hey, that it worked out well. Honestly, the first time they did it, it was the best of any of the leagues working around it. So
100%.
I guess I wouldn't be completely against it, but we're in a different time now, right? There's vaccinations. Like, it's not quite. I don't want to downplay it all because obviously it's
No,
still
right.
serious. And, like,
Yeah.
as an immunocompromised person myself, I understand how serious it is. But
Right.
to professional athletes, the hope would be they're vaccinated and they wouldn't be, too negatively affected by it. Just
Right.
have to be out for a little bit. So,
Right.
although there was a Bills player who had to go to the hospital like last week.
Oh,
He's
really?
vaccinated.
Because of
One
COVID?
their
I didn't realize
offensive
that.
lineman. Yeah,
Oh,
I just
geez.
saw it in like buried in an article about Cole Beasley getting COVID
Of course.
and being like mad about
Yeah.
it. I was like, yeah, and also his teammate was hospitalized, and I was like, what? And I like clicked on it, thinking it was gonna be a link. Like clicked on his name, and it was just a link to his like player page. And I was like,
What the heck? I can't
okay.
wait to look for that after. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It was very wild.
Heck?
But, yeah. Anyways, you can follow me on Twitter at @thefakeBMar. That's BMARR. Channels on Twitter at WickedGoodSport and on WG Everything. Instagram at Wicked Everything. Twitch.tv/Wicked Everything. TikTok, follow Wicked Good Sports or Wicked Good Everything. Jack, thank you so much for your time. I know it was kind of a long one tonight.
Or good. I love doing these, Brian. So of course,
Right.
happy to be here.
Me too. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.